Welcome back. This is King Jacob. This is Exquisite PR firm with a production of Exquisite Conversation. And so I am King Jacob, and this is a Pavani J, Nicole Jordan podcast segment that's sponsored by Exquisite PR firm. And I am King Jacob, so I've managed artists, I do media, the front runner, and the go-to guy for Exquisite PR firm that's owned by Miss Nicole Jordan, aka Pavani J. And next up, we have.
Hey, you guys, I'm Pavani J, CEO and founder of Exquisite PR firm, host of Winding Down Late Night Conversation on Sunday nights streaming at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, 10 p.m. Eastern Time, and also the host of Exquisite Conversation that we just launched last week. And we're going to try to do this thing and see how it goes. And to the bottom of me, we have.
What's up, y'all? I'm Jevon Jones, artist, filmmaker, producer, and student at Fort Valley State University in Fort Valley, Georgia.
All right. So we're going to get into how I met your pops. Met your pops, man, by the way of networking and stuff like that. So we met through a guy named Terry Hall Jr. And so he was telling me about the sports show that he wanted. So and he was doing, and I was like, man, you know, that's my thing. I know you need a co-host. He was like, in fact, I do. And so with that being said, we just started linking up, and then he was like, man, I didn't know you was in music like that, Jacob. And I was like, yeah. So, and of course I had him on my show, and we had a whole nother different topic on my show. The show he was on was about toxic relationships with dealing with people in society. And that was on my Chatterbox show. And so we started talking about the sports. And so when we started talking about the music thing, and he just popped up and sent me y'all link. I said, these boys hot, man. Like, wow. Because it was different. You know what I mean? It was different, man. It was it was a good vibe. One rap, one sing, but it coexist together. So the vibe was on point. So we're gonna get into the music first, and then we'll go into the filmmaking. So tell me how long you guys been doing music, man, or how long you been doing music.
Well, I've really been I've been in and out of music for a minute, for a long time, since I was a kid. My uncle used to be an artist or whatever. He used to be a rapper in Florida, and he got sick or whatever. He got signed to Universal around like 2007, 2008. Got sick real bad with his colon, and he kind of just fell back from it. A lot started to happen, so we relocated because my dad was managing him at the time. We relocated. I just started seeing like certain things. Like I became a DJ at first, and after going through that experience, learning more music and getting exposed to things, and I kind of just started building my own craft. When I got to high school around my junior year, I started taking music more serious. I put a group together. We call ourselves We Don't Sell Drugs at school, and we went to Forest Park High School. After a while, when I got to college, that's when I started really saying, like, pushing it away, like pushing music away like that. Around that first semester, I was like, I'm just going to focus on film. It seemed like everything was just like, I didn't feel like I had my heart in it anymore. So after that, that's when I met my partner or whatever, like around January. Like I had some friends or whatever that was like, Darius, in the band, he made music or whatever, y'all should link up. I was like, I don't know. They was like, you might as well. And they kept pushing the issue. And it just like, every time it seemed like I kept walking away from music, it kept coming back to me. So now I was like, okay, let me see what he's talking about. I wasn't taking it serious at first, you know, because I was like, man, you know, it's gonna be the same old, same old. It's gonna be somebody that's gonna say, oh, I want to do it, but don't take it serious. And I seen that his work ethic was on the same time as mine, because if I could tell you a story, like, so when I did my first song with him or whatever, and because it was actually 3 of us in the group at the time, so it was a girl singer, it was me, and it was him. So, and she, you know, she had a part in her name is JB. She had a part in, you know, making certain songs that we do have out, like writing them or whatever, like, you know, helping along. So but anyways, when I was creating the song or whatever, I put my verse on it, and this when I figured out, is when it clicked, like, okay, he's serious. He paused the song and he was like after I put my part in, he just, you know, he paused it. He said, "Is that what you coming with?" And I was like, "What you mean?" He was like, "I mean, if you think that's good, then, you know, we can move on and I can throw it away." He said, "Or we can do it again and you show me what you're really coming with." And I was like, "Okay." So then I was just like, you know, I started just like pressing buttons to see, you know what I'm saying, to, you know, kind of just see where we can go with this. And it was just like, okay, he's serious. You know, like when we were, I know you heard the song Drinks on Me. It took us a month to get that song right. Like every single day we going in the studios, the same song, the same part. Hey, let's get this right. Let's fix this. Like everything is working with my new partner, which is more so like perfection before we put it out. And even when, you know, the song was done by the end of February, the song didn't come out till May, because the whole time we promoting, you know what I'm saying? And he was like, "I'm not going to drop this. If this is going to be our first single, we can't just drop it. We can't just drop it so nobody can hear it. We got to promote it. We got to put it in motion. We got to put our name out there somehow." None of us knew what we were doing, but, you know, spending time and dedication, like even when like when it came down to us learning the business, staying up till 7 o'clock in the morning, you know what I'm saying, all day long, 24/7, just trying to figure it out before the first song come out, you know. And then we get it out and it does numbers that we didn't even imagine that we would have saw, you know. So it was just like, even that song hitting 1 million, and then other songs behind it just adding on to it, you know what I'm saying? Just like we start seeing the love from, you know, our fans that we don't even know, people that we never even met before. So it was just like, it took the music to a whole nother level. Just getting with somebody that understood what they were doing when it came down to, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm willing to learn.
Okay. So, you know, upon me listening to the music, you know, I can say that y'all got a lot of diversity with y'all music, man, and it's catchy. It's catchy. It's different from what I hear most young people do. So, you know, that's what
Right.
caught me. See, y'all got that '90s vibe. You know what I mean? Y'all got that. Y'all got that Jaheim and that Jada Kiss going on. You know what I mean? So y'all got the
Yeah.
'90s vibe. So, and you know, the appreciation for the art form, man, it just opens your eyes, cause a lot of these dudes out here that make music, man, it's so much profanity. So I'm just like, is that what your intellectual process is like when you perfecting an art form? So, you know, you guys, man, y'all was just like super. It was super savvy, but all at the same time it was catchy. It wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't every other curse word in it. So, you know, I was like, you know what I mean? The mamas can listen to this at the cookouts, and you know, the baby's mamas can listen to it. You know what I mean?
And that's
So
the
so
thing, like with I'm sorry to cut you off, but like that's the thing, like when we was creating these songs, even when we was creating the album, it was just like, okay, we know where we can go with certain songs. You know, we feel the vibe, we get it, you know what I'm saying? We let it, like, we sit there and kind of like, when we say, like, we meditate on it, we meditate on the beat, we meditate on the songs, on the lyrics, make sure that is, you know what I'm saying, the right vibe for it. Okay, well, this one gonna be an album cut, so we can kind of go here with this one gonna be the
hmm
one where we gonna, you know what I'm saying, I feel like this one can be that one, so let's let's do this one some justice. Let's make it, so let's make it catchy enough. Let's give it that vibe that everybody can feel good. So like it's when our writing process, when it comes down to just making the music, is more so about where do you see yourself when you're listening to the song. We kind of just like how I always use this reference when Jay-Z was in the studio with Pharrell. He was like, I only want music that I can see in different places. If I can see this music in different places, that mean I want it, because that mean this music can be played in different places. This music, some people make, like you said, like a lot of people make music, like the artists make music with profanity nowadays, or it's related with it's on certain ways. Because now it's like, okay, that's the agenda. We need to push that. We need to push more so negativity and the thought of, oh, the only way I can get over depression is using drugs. You know what I'm saying? They try to push that narrative out there, or whatever. We're trying to cleanse of it. That's why we call ourselves, like, we have a label that we're building called Changing Up the Game. And it's just basically us just trying to push artists into that light of, okay, if you're gonna make the music from how you feel, how you really feel. What's your how show them different types of art forms, but then also pushing the right agenda, more so than just pushing an agenda that you feel like, okay, if we can sell this, then everybody else is gonna grab onto it. I feel like a lot of the companies now, they grab onto negativity because that's what they want to paint our culture as, versus getting artists they rather get artists that they can run over and say, okay, do what I say. All right, bet. You know what I'm saying? Go in the studio, make this song. No, I don't like it like that. Do it like this. Okay, cool. Now you sit in the studio making a terrible song, but by the point where when you put the song out, or when you give the song to go and get reviewed, you don't even care what they come back with. More so, like, then you trying to perfect the song. It's a lot of lukewarm music out now, and it's only because the artist is tired of going back to correct the song instead of them perfecting it, or instead of them, when it does come back to goes down to the agenda. Oh, I don't want you talking about. I don't necessarily know if this is what they're pushing, but how about you talk about more so your drug use? It seems like a lot of artists are talking about drug use now. Promote the drug use. The drug use is what's going to sell. So now it's a lot of artists that have to keep going back and making these songs and make them as negative as possible, that when they do get the review and they say, okay, it's good, they don't even care about what the song does. They just want to see it sell. Now they just like, okay, now the label has to push it. Now I can get my money back on it. They don't care if people dislike or like the song. They just looking at the money
now. And so with that being said, I'm reminded of an artist by the name of Logic. You familiar with Logic, right?
Yeah.
So Logic had a suicide prevention song about suicide, because he was battling a interracial thing from a little boy, and he didn't feel like black people accepted him. And so because his interracialness, and then him and his dad didn't have a good relationship, at the same time, his mama treated him really foul because he looked like his dad. So he made a song about suicide prevention, man. And this song sold millions of records. I mean, I think it was like an anthem for the youth for like 2 years all around the country, bro.
Yeah.
Like it was 1-800-SUICIDE. That was the name of the song. And it's so what you're saying, how you're trying to change the narrative of what people feel towards music.
Yeah.
And you want artists to put. Okay.
So like, even with that song, like right there, like with the with Logic song, and I was one of the fans of that song. Critically, that song was bashed so much. So many people on social media, even the critics, like the actual music critics, they bashed that song so much. Oh, it's corny. Oh, it's not really helping nothing. oh, what is this doing? You know what I'm saying? A lot of people were against that song. You know, and the thing is, you seen kids out there listening to this song. This song is getting them through. You know what I'm saying? That song is basically getting a lot of kids through depression or getting kids through. Okay, I can make it to see another day. They're preventing it. A lot of music that's made like that, it only gets a glimpse. Like it only gets thrown out like maybe like once every 3 years, and then when they do come, it's deemed corny or it's deemed like, oh, this isn't hip hop. But then,
Right.
you know what I'm saying, the biggest song of the year can be a drug song, can be a and it's no disrespect, but can be a Future song, can be Future Mask Off when he's talking about Percocets, Molly Percocets, or the biggest album, you know what I'm saying, like about drugs. Like everything now is more so pushed on, okay, depression and drugs is like weighing together. Like, okay, depression and drugs plays a role because a lot of these artists portray themselves as being depressed, so they take drugs. So what are the kids going to do? Because the kids are the ones that listening to the music. It's not the adults. The adults listening to it, but they don't really care about what the lyrics are saying. They're only waiting for their favorite artist that they grew up on to come on and make some music. They don't really care about what we're listening to. They just hear it and be like, oh, this is sad. This sounds like it's sad.
Mm-hmm.
But when you know what I'm saying, I guess when you're put into that, like, okay, so I can only speak for like my generation. The music changed so drastically since we was younger. The music that we came out when I was born in 01. So the music that I heard when I was younger was way happier, way, you know what I'm saying, get up, dance, and then it flipped to like, okay, yeah, this is serious. It's like it grew up with us. It went from like, oh, we're happy, to when we become teenagers, a lot of the music that when we became teenagers became sad. Everything from like the R&B to the rap to everything became depression. You know, and then now we're getting older. I feel like more so the depression part is floating away. You know, when it comes down to the music, most of the depression or the satanic type of hip hop is like kind of washing away, but the drugs is getting bigger.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's gotten to a point where now we're hitting adulthood, and it's just like, okay, we are basically watching our depression and our sadness that we had as teenagers wash away because we didn't took so many drugs. That's what it looks like. Right. That's how the music is portraying. That's how the music is getting. It's getting to a point where it's just like, okay, yeah, we done drowned ourselves so much in the drugs that the depression don't even matter no more because the drugs done took over.
Right. So with that being said, man, you said something about Future, man.
My fault.
No, you good. You good. This your show, bro. You good. So you said something about Future, and the reason why I don't really care for Future music, because I see him do an interview, and they was referencing the interview to the drug song "Masked Off," right? And he told them, "No, I don't do Percocet, I don't do Molly, I don't pop pills." I mean, they said, "Why are you making songs for this?" He's like, "Because that's what the kids like. That's what's gonna sell." But in my eyes, I said that's poison, man. Like you're poisoning the youth, man. Because if you don't do it yourself, why would you reference in a song to tell them to do it? You know, like it makes no sense to me. So, you know, but let's actually talk about Dub 3, man. So let's talk about your favorite song and why it's your favorite song, and was the creativity. You know, is the creativity of the song what made it your favorite? So, what would you say would be your most, you know, the song that you caught the best vibe off of when you were recording it?
Okay. If I'm gonna say my favorite song is actually the second song off of our album, Toxic, called Metaphor. And the reason why that song, you know, really was like, it was the best session because it was the realest session. You know, Darius just went through, you know what I'm saying, through some things with his ex or whatever. And, you know, I was in a happy mood. You know, it was weird because I was in a happy mood, you know, and then the other dude, Logical, other artist, our other artist, Logical, he was there or whatever. He got on the song and, you know, we were just chilling. But then Darius was just like upset or whatever. I put the beat on because right before he left out, we was playing the song, we were playing the beat, and it was me and Logical was writing to it. And I was like, I ain't even got to write because I kind of caught a vibe already. You know what I'm saying? I was like, okay, this is serious.
Mm-hmm.
Got on the mic, just started spitting. And then that's when Darius came back in and was like, you going to put something down or whatever? He ain't picked up nothing. He ain't picked up no pencil, no paper. He was just sitting there just sitting there. And then that's when all of a sudden he just got up, sat down, picked up the mic, and just started singing. And we was confused. Me and Logical was confused because we was like, man, what's going on? Because we can't hear the music. We just hearing him sing. So we don't know if he's staying on track with what the song is about. Because the song was, you know, I was trying to make it more so when I started rapping, I was trying to make it more so like, okay, this is how I feel or whatever. But more so keep in context of, okay, I'm feeling happy. He came in. He was, you know what I'm saying, he was going through it, so he's kind of sad. So he was like, he was just singing. He was like, just trust me. He turned the speaker on and we heard the song, we heard his part. And we was like, yo, you just did all that? He was like, I told you, just trust me. He was like, he said, I just wanted to come in here to sing. Man, Logical put his part down and he kind of just caught the vibe that he was catching. He was like, okay, we on the same vibe. And then that's how the song came together. And it was like the realest song that we made. One of the realest. Because everybody was just, it was no formula. It was no structure. It was just go. Just do what you got to do. Like, it was like, that was like the one song that was like, it was no formula, no structure to it.
So, but, you know what song that America likes from you guys, and they're going to continue. It's going to be a song that they play forever. Listen, man, I don't care where you at. A female want to hear that thing when you say that statement. Hey, babe, drinks on me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just, you know, drinks on me is going to be played forever, man. You know what I mean? You know, because 9 times out of 10, man, you know, drinks on me, that statement strikes up the extracurricular conversation. You know what I mean? The conversation
and
goes to the next level.
Oh Lord!
And the thing is, basically, like, okay, so I'll tell you about that session. So when we basically was looking for drinks in a way, you know what I'm saying? We was just looking for that song, like, because we was going through a series of just recordings and like sessions and nothing came together. We was like, man, they're like, we ain't got no songs. Like, every time we came back, we'll record a song. Darius be like, yeah, straight. We'll come back next day. I'll be like, I'll go to the computer. What a song at? Oh yeah, I deleted it. It didn't sound good. So it was like, okay, now we gotta find a song. It was like we ain't have a song yet. So we started looking for beats or whatever. We started hooking up with this producer named Tony Sway. And we found this beat or whatever, and it was called Club Hop or something. And we was like, it was about after like we listened to like 15 of them. We heard that. We played it and it was like dun, 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 dun. And then all of a sudden, Darius was like, drinks on me. Like, he ain't had nothing else but that. And he was like, I'm about to just put that down. He was like, so we bought the beat. And then we talked to Tony and was like, okay, we put the beat down. He was like, okay, I'm just gonna put this down so I remember it. So he put down the drinks on me. And then he's like, all right, so now we just gotta write the song. So next day, I'm not really feeling it at first, because I'm just like, I've always had different types of styles, like how I rapped or whatever, but that was like something that was like, I don't know, this like more R&B-ish. Like this is not my lead, like for real. So just like, okay, let me just sit on it, or let me just sit on the song. So next day I was listening to the beat all day, just start writing the song, just start writing like in between the lines or whatever. I had my other the other members that was with us at the time. We had a writer and producer also in the group, and they came up and they was, they was helping me basically write the rest of the song. We went back in, went to the studio later on that night. It was like, yeah, we got the song ready. We laid the song down. It was just like, it was basically at that point we were just in there just smiling for the rest of the night, just listening to the song, just smiling like, yeah, we got that one. Like, it was just like that was a much so different feeling when it came down to just knowing that, okay, when we put this out, this either gonna go crazy or ain't nobody gonna care about it. We already knew. It was like, there ain't no in between with this one. Either people gonna go crazy about it or they don't care. We put that song out, right. And the thing is, us thinking, okay, they gonna care more so like, we ain't put nothing out before. Like I have when it comes down to like solo stuff, but that's more so like, okay, let me show my friends at school type of thing. This is like the first time that I'm just like, okay, let me take a leap of faith. Put the song out.
Mm-hmm.
We thinking that, okay, so, overall might get like 1,000, 2,000 streams. Like we predicting like, okay, so what do you think? Man, maybe about like 2,000 streams, 2,000 views or whatever. Kid you not, the next day, we woke up with like 250 emails. And onto the Spotify for artists or whatever. I was like, what's going on? People reposting it on Instagram, on Facebook, and then I go to the streams, and it was like 1,200. I was like, 1,200 streams? I was like, it just dropped last night. And literally, like, what I mean by last night is it dropped Friday at 12 o'clock. I go to sleep, wake up 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock in the morning. It's at 1,200 streams already. So then it was just like, it's like we already knew by then, like, okay, this is one indies. I was just promoting the song, like, okay, this is the one, this is it. So that was like, right. Then that's been like really my baby, because like the one that I wrote, that's the one that I like put together. So it was like, okay, this definitely gonna be the one. And it's been that one for the past 2 years, honestly.
Yeah, so when I first heard it, I was like, all right. So I listened to it again. Then I listened to it for a third time. I said, you know what, this right here got a real club vibe. It's got a real bar and lounge type vibe. It's kind of suave. You kind of can hear a dude be like, what's up, shorty?
Yeah.
What you drink? So drinks on me. So and that drinks on me give you that vibe. It kind of opens up the door for that conversation to be had,
right.
Because a lot of times, when you sitting at the bar and you drinking on something and she pull up at the bar, you be like, what you drinking? And if the conversation go from there. So I definitely like the vibe of the song. I'm just waiting to see how you guys put this visual together.
Right.
I think the visual got to be exclusive though, like real exclusive.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like we obviously we've been trying to get this visual done for a minute, but basically, so the first time we was going to do a video shoot in July 2020, and that's when everything kind of started to, get back better with, what I'm saying, with the world with COVID. And then all of a sudden, that's when it was like, okay, as soon as like the week of when we was about to go do it, it was like, oh yeah, country shut back down again. You know what I'm saying? So that was like when like certain states started to open up a little bit more, but not necessarily. So it was like, by that time, it was like, okay, so we had to push it back again. Then we kept making more music though. Like, so it was like, it was a lot. Cause it was like, we kept making more music. So we was like, we want visuals for all of this. But we knew that drinks, we couldn't just, what I'm saying? We couldn't just throw something together. We couldn't just say, okay, everybody come over and let's just do a video. Like that song needs to be live. You know what I'm saying? The video needs to be live. That needs to be one of, okay, let's pay attention to this. You know, and it's like I get it, like getting a visual out or whatever. But that one just needed to be live. And it was like we done planned about 3 or 4 times since then. Like I think this next time that we go and get it done at the beginning of the year, there should be no distractions. And we got that video coming, and we have plenty more songs that we have out, you know, including Overdose and the song we did with the single that we did Logical this past summer, Don't Trip. All those videos are coming out soon. If you know what I'm saying, based on how the world wants to act, if that makes sense. Just us
It
getting
makes
the
sense. It
video.
makes sense.
Makes a lot of sense.
Right,
Okay,
right. So
so not only do you do music, but you're also a film director and a movie producer. Tell us about that.
So uh I would say so the film side, I started getting into film when I was around like 11 years old. And I was in
Mm,
the reason being what happened was I just always liked to write. It was just something about writing. Wherever when it came down to just music or movies, it was always writing. Like I always had ideas. So I met a teacher. It was like I was in 6th grade. That was really, really animated when it came down to like, but she was like dark animated, like more so like she just spoke her mind. But it always came off as, it was never necessarily like I don't know how you explain it. It was just more so like just real. She was really real for a 6th grader. I would say she was really dark and real for a 6th grader. And then one time she just introduced us to Spike Lee or whatever.
interesting.
And this is the first time that I'm getting to, hear about him or whatever. She talking about movies, she's saying certain things that I always knew about Do the Right Thing and Malcolm X, but I've never really dug into it. So then she was like, she said, I see you doing film. She just randomly. She was like, I see you doing film. She was like, study this man. She gave me all his movies. And I just went home and I was just, looking them up on TV, just watching them, just watching direction and just the writing of it. And because she always saw me writing, she always saw me doing something. So she was like, if you want to take that next step into writing. So that's when I got into him. And then I already was a fan of, when I was, I know I shouldn't have been watching the show, but Family Guy. I always been a fan of Family Guy since I was like 6, 7 years old. Like, cause I always just like the outlandishness. It was different. So I always, when I make jokes, I make certain jokes like that too. So I always write down things like I'm doing a movie or I'm always interacting a scene. So I just kind of just meshed it together and started writing myself. And when I would say around 16, 17 years old, I had a teacher. I had a literature teacher. And he was really animated. But he was more so animated on a more like happy end or fun end or goofy end or whatever. So he really wanted me to take my writing seriously. He saw that, he knew that I was a rapper, but he was like, it's something about when it comes down to like, because by then I was doing plays for church and, kind of just, staying in that lane or more so growing in that lane. So basically with that, he was like, I want you to paint a picture. So he was giving me a exercise at the end of the year. So we did a project and he was like, it was on Uncle Tom's Cabin. And he said, I want you to paint a picture of Uncle Tom's Cabin, but I want you to write it. I want you to rap. So paint a picture like it's a movie, but rap it. Make a song. And it was just weird because it was like, he wants me to make a movie, but he wants me to put it in a song. And it was like he's trying to mesh it together. I went and recorded the song. This was like the last time I seen him. Because after that, he passed. He ultimately passed the next year because I was supposed to be in his class. But when I became a senior, he ended up passing that summer from pneumonia. So it was crazy because last time I seen him, he was like, I've done lived my life. I ain't even like the thing is I met this guy this year, so it wasn't like I was, we had this. I knew him years or nothing. Like I met him this year, and we got a connection like that on a level of artistic. So he was just telling me like, you can't stop now. He was like, you got too much talent. He was like, you waste that talent. He was like, and this is just me being an adult to another adult. You're a waste of space. He told me like that. Last time I seen him, he said, you got to do it. He said, you got to get out. So, I didn't think nothing of it because, I'm still in high school. So I'm still just like, man, okay, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad that you believe in me, but, whatever. Next year, there was like, because that was like the last week of school. Next year we came back. They was just moving stuff out of his room or whatever. And we just confused because we was like, what's going on? Next day we came back to school and they told us that he was gone. He like passed away. We, did everything we could like after school when it come down to candle lights or whatever. And then I seen how many students he touched before he left. When it came down to just, it was different for us because from where I'm from, it was like you didn't really get a pat on the back when when you did something. You know what I'm saying? It was more so like, oh, you're supposed to get good grades. You're supposed to do this, you're supposed to do that. But then we only got attention when we did something bad. So it was weird. So it was weird to see a teacher that was just like, stay on your grind. You know what I'm saying? Like, keep getting better and I'm going to keep patting you on the back, but I'm going to keep telling you that I'm going to keep letting you know, like, if you slacking, get back on your grind. So it was weird. And it was like, for us to lose a teacher like that, I knew it was significant. And it was just like, okay, I gotta stay focused. So got to school and I started getting into photography a little bit more. Like got to college, I started getting into photography. And then I always had little opportunities where I can film certain things. Like I had an opportunity to film a documentary of the school. And then I kind of just wanted to take it more serious.
Jevon, hold on, let me ask you something. So
What'd you say?
Are we talking about a documentary of high school or HBCU or Fort Valley State?
Fort Valley State University.
Oh, okay.
But this.
Oh, okay. So okay. Let's back up a little bit because you really piquing my interest. So you had opportunity to do a documentary of Fort Valley State University HBCU. And so let's talk about how you got into that, and let's talk about the mental aspect of you doing that, and the emotional aspect when you know about what the school had to go through to become a historically Black college, and how they may have tried to block the school from happening when it was first brought to the state of Georgia's attention. So let's talk about that part.
So basically with the documentary, so I just had, so at the time, because I was still a freshman, my public speaking instructor, she basically gave me that green light of, just saying like, okay, I told her what I wanted to do when it came down to just making the documentary of, just going around school, filming, asking questions and like, talking to the president and the deans or whatever, and the instructors and professors. Now, how they do it at my school is more so you have to give them a glimpse of what you're trying to do. So since I've been to the school, I've been kind of trying to give glimpses. So with the documentary, at first, I only was able to film a snippet. So I was only able to film about, I would say about a 5-minute segment. Now, being that I was a freshman, it kind of got pushed under at first. So it was a lot of things that it was just like when you say even when it comes down to them being forbidden to do certain things, it's still like a certain level you got to go through when it comes down to being at the school. So at being a student at the school. So then I was like, okay, I had the situation with the world literature when I had the Art of Peer Pressure short film. So I was like, I'm gonna take this opportunity to showcase the school, but also showcase these students and show, you know what I'm saying, kind of doing a little cheat sheet of basically adding the two together. Like, okay, I have this film going on, I have this movie, kind of like what Spike would do. When Spike did do the right thing, he was not only showcasing the characters, but showcasing Brooklyn, New York. So that's what I was basically, you know, I was taking a reference to that. Like, okay, I'm gonna still showcase Fort Valley State, but it's still about the students. It's still about the characters in this film. So that was another basically a gold medal to that, you know, because there was basically just, it's more so now at this point they're just watching to see how far I would go. So now I'm fast forwarding this past semester. I get an opportunity to my instructor ends up being, she was actually in acting in The Hunger Games and The Hate U Give and Just Mercy. She played opposite of Jamie Foxx. She was Jamie Foxx's wife in Just Mercy. So I didn't know this. I didn't really, you know what I'm saying? So basically what happened was my schedule came back late. You know, that's another story. My schedule came back late and I ended up seeing this drama segment on my major or whatever. Like, okay, what's this drama? I didn't see it before because now I'm entering my major. So I'm just like, okay, let me check this out. It was intermediate acting and it was supposed to be a whole class of students, but it ended up being the only person in the class. So I sent her my script for my TV show. And I was like, okay, I feel like this is, you know, because I don't really know the lady yet. So I'm just like, okay, now I'm just in a point where I'm just going to just showcase what I have. So this is the most complete thing that I have right now that I have not used. So when I get into the class, I realize I'm the only person in there. So we start working and building on this script. So basically we don't really scrape the script at all. We more so edit. And she teaches me different ways of how to get better at writing, the references to take. We was in there watching other TV shows and looking at other TV scripts, you know, which was dope. And she'll kind of just give me insight of what's going on in the industry and how it moves and works when it comes down to just filming. And
so interesting point, Jevon. So let's start with it. Let's talk about the industry when it comes to filming, when it comes to treatments, when it comes to trailers, when it comes to sizzles, and when it comes to reels, when you're bringing a new project out. So a lot of people think they can just hop up in the film industry, and that's a not. A lot of people don't think they have to write a treatment for a project, and that's a not.
Yeah.
And when we say treatment, what's a treatment?
Okay.
Basically,
if you would like to explain it to Jevon.
Okay. So basically, if I can just explain it just in whole.
You can definitely explain it. I know what a treatment is, but I want you to enlighten me.
So basically, if I can explain it whole, just like how I had to put myself through when it comes down to the script that we with the the show's called Conscious TV Show. So with putting the show together, putting Conscious together, it took, even though the script was done, it took a whole semester, 3 months to rewrite. You know, so basically, when a lot of new writers or whatever, they think that they can just send a script in. Okay, I done it. Let me send a script in or whatever. I'm gonna get a movie deal back, and then they realize that, you know what I'm saying, or the movie gets sent back. It's not finished. They're like, what's wrong with it? I thought I finished it, but it's more that goes into it. It's a lot that goes into even before filming it. You know, you might have a script that, you know, it's a lot of movies that's being made now that they had a script for in 2001 or 1995, and the movie keeps getting sent back. The script, it don't matter who you are. It can be Spike Lee, Tyler Perry. The script keeps getting sent back because it's like, okay, what is that got to do?
That's a team of people that look over the script, right?
Yes. So then, and then even then, if the script doesn't get sent back, they'll call you to the office and be like, okay, I like it, but I want to do this, and that to it.
So what about reality TV?
Reality TV, okay.
Interesting.
I would just say it depends. It depends, and when I mean by
But they
when I say
still
that
have
is,
scripts. They have small like mini scripts, stuff to lead them.
Yeah, they make up things to do. So it's kind of like, okay, if I can be safe and compare it to like sketch shows or skits or whatever, more so like, okay, we know this family isn't just getting up randomly and going, you know what I'm saying, going to NASA to go to outer space. But to keep the show interesting, the producer of the show will come in and tell the family or tell who's ever involved, hey, this is what y'all doing today. And they'll plan it up and they'll make it seem like this is what was already a part of the day. Once you watch the show, you thinking, you know what I'm saying, just for an example, you thinking Nelly and his family is about to go to NASA and get on, you know what I'm saying? It's like, why are y'all doing this? Oh, we about to become the astronauts for a day. You know, I just want to surprise the kids. You know, so it's like, or even when it comes down to as the show goes along, you know, at first it can be real. At first it can be like a real situation. Like, okay, the first couple episodes get used to y'all genuine personality, how y'all really act. Now let's add a script in. Now we have a script. Okay, this is what you say next. This is what you're doing. But you're still acting like yourself. It's just now you have a script in place.
Right. And the people in the background, the directors, producers, editors, it's a team of people, probably a team of 10, if not more, maybe 7 at the least, have this schedule already put together. Am I right? So like you don't just go off the cerebellum. Does it work like that? Could it work like that?
So yeah, and then at the same time, just like when we're speaking on even TV shows and movies, when it comes down to having a new season for a reality show, if the producers or the creative director, see, a lot of people don't really talk about the creative director, but the creative director has a lot of say so when it comes down to how the movie gets pushed out or how the TV show, reality show gets pushed out. Wow. If they don't like the idea of, or if they say, okay, it's not entertaining enough, it's not enough drama, they'll go back and pull plugs, you know what I'm saying, or push buttons. Okay, so say this person is talking about this person. Now you meeting this person at the club for some reason. You said what?
Pull the plug means fire.
So they'll put a plug on certain characters, on certain guest stars, quote unquote guest stars, because they're not giving enough drama. You know, not pushing enough drama off. So it's like, if you realize it's a lot of reality shows that has been out since, you know, for a decade. The people that started out on the first season, the genuine people, a lot of them are not there anymore because their role that they were playing, it was relevant in the story because the story was about what they're doing, but then it becomes irrelevant when the drama overtakes the show. So now it's like, okay, we don't really need you no more. Just go and do what you was going to do but it's like, okay, you made the show because of me, but now you're pushing everybody else away so you can add the people that were added later for drama. You put them in the forefront, and now the show is about them.
So Jay, let me ask you a question. How much does working with a PR mean to you as a film director?
With a PR. Well, only because of my lack, because I haven't been able to work with a PR for film. But when it comes down to, if I can speak on music, it's very important. You know, it's very important overall because with a PR, it pushes you to another. It's like a, you know, it's similar to a label, but it's more so you're investing into yourself. So it's like you're helping yourself push to the next level. You know, even when it comes down to, okay, I would say for just, you know, for example, when it comes down to movies, people that have a PR team it's easier for them to get the light shine on them for a second. You know, okay, this is what this person is doing. Okay, I'll give them a chance. You know, it's more so about taking a chance. So it's like with a PR movement, it really pushes you in the direction of you have a better chance of getting a chance if you're with me versus if you just walk in by yourself. So that's how I look at PR. PR is more so like that.
Say that one more time. Say that one more time for the
church.
Yeah, say that for the church and on the back pew. Say it again.
PR is basically saying having a PR team is basically like saying you have a chance by having me on your team, then you going in there by yourself. So you go in there by yourself, you might not get a chance. They're like, okay, so who are you? But if you got a team with you, they're gonna be like, oh, okay, you know, they onto something. They have a team with them. They have, you know what I'm saying? So I would say it's a different energy. Because it's more so the energy of the other person coming in, man, I can do it by myself. You're gonna get turned around because they ain't gonna take you serious because you're by yourself. Because you ain't got nobody really bugging anybody's ear about you. It's
Absolutely.
just
you. PRs make noise.
Right.
We get you to that target audience and we get the buzz going. We get you in front of people that you need to be in front of. The only thing that people have to understand is that it doesn't happen overnight. So we got to get the buzz going.
Right.
Even if you had a buzz already. So please understand this. Even if you already had a buzz, even if you already had 20,000 viewers or whatever, once we start putting our hands in it, it's just like making meatloaf. You got to form it,
right,
make it, build it, talk to it, do some loving on it. And when you do that and then get it out there, you can manifest magic.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Make things happen.
Facts.
I had the opportunity to put my hands in things and make magic. I do know that I have I have the ability to do that, but it doesn't happen overnight. Right. So you can't call me today and say, you know, I want to talk to Oprah tomorrow. I told you that I can do that. Then don't hire me.
Right.
I'm completely lying to you. Please don't hire me. And if anyone else tells you that, then don't hire them either. But what I can tell you is that give me some time. We'll make it happen, because everything happens in time, and everything happens how it's supposed to happen. Once you get the schematics together and you hear the story and they hear the story and you guys put it together and you guys mesh together, I don't care what type of PR you say that you are, it all trembles down to the same totem pole, and that's making your name a household name. Exactly. And that's branding your brand and blowing your brand up. And that's getting you to that next interview, or getting you to that next award ceremony, or getting you to the Oscars, or getting you to the to the next level. No matter what it is or who you are, but you have to have a platform.
Right.
You can't get a PR without a platform. That's happened to me before too, where people don't have anything. They just tell me everything that they want to do, what they want to be in life, and I want to go to Nike, and I want to be branded by Nike. And I'm like, okay, what do you have? Do you have any Facebook videos? Do you have anything that we can like start stepping up the steps with? And they don't have anything. Okay, well, go back, build your brand, and then
at least start
somewhere. Because by the time a person gets a PR, like you said, it takes you to another level. Right. You are then considered to be outside of the box once you have a PR. First of all, PRs are not cheap. So to have a PR is pretty expensive. But you have to deliver. You have to be able to deliver when you're a PR. You can't just say you can do something and you can't do it.
Right.
I had training. I went to school and I had training, and I was still, after training, under a watchful eye of someone for years until I felt like I was ready. I was almost pushed out of the nest like a birdie because I was still holding on. Like, wait a minute, I wasn't ready. I didn't think I was ready anyway, but they pushed me out of the nest. Like, nah, go, get off of me.
Right.
So It's a time when you have to fly or sink. Hey, and
Exactly.
I'm still here. But again, that's definitely necessary. Um, but then when you're in a position like music managers, um, film directors, um, indie artists, you guys find yourself doing a lot of PR work. But that doesn't mean that you're a PR though. That doesn't mean that you're a publicist. That just means that you do tasks that PRs do, which
Yeah.
would then free you up so that you could do what you love to do, or you can
Right.
make magic with what you have, um, and takes the rigmarole off of you, basically.
Right,
Some of
right,
the
right.
telephone calls off you, and you want to make sure that you have someone that you mesh well with and that can speak really well because it's a communication thing. Because you don't want to have a PR or a publicist who can't speak well,
Right.
or who can't hold a conversation, or who's shy, or who's scared to go into a room and not work the room, or not, hold the room down. And then you have to also, as a PR, know what you're dealing with. If you don't
Oh,
know what you're dealing with, you need to get on top of something. You need to get on top of your research. You got to research, research, research. Um, and that's the beautiful thing about the internet. If you do not use the internet, and this is so funny to me when I hear people say, I ain't really tech savvy. Okay. But you need to start pushing buttons because this is the ways of the world. This is the
Right.
future. And there shouldn't
This is
be a
it now.
reason why you ask someone a question, because Google it. Google will tell you
Right.
everything in the whole wide world. So that 75% of Americans who don't use it, because it's a lot of Americans who don't use a
Hmm.
computer, and it's just sad to say that, they should, because that's how you're gonna know. And if it doesn't tell you, there's a dictionary, there's a thesaurus, there's a, you know what I mean? It's other
Right.
tactics that you have to use, to get to what you want. So that's one thing, is like I said, as a PR, you have to know your client. You got
mm,
to know your client. So that means that you and your client have to become very well well acquainted. Like, we should be almost like family members. I should know what color you like. I
Right.
should know your favorite food. I should know what size clothes you wear. I should know everything, because um and I should also, be able to keep your secrets,
Hmm.
just because I need to know how to navigate for you. If someone is calling and they got questions, I should be able to say yes or no in accordance for you, without you having a thumbs down at anything that I say.
Right.
I shouldn't have to tug at your coattail every Sunday, or every Saturday, or every whatever day, and say, "Hey, what are we doing for the week? Hey, 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 what do you need me to do for the week? Hey, hey." That's too much. That we don't have a relationship.
Right.
You know what I mean? You have to build a relationship, and as much as you try sometimes as a PR, or as much as you try sometimes as the client to get to the PR, sometimes there's some type of blockage there. Um,
Right.
and it's not that you can't get over it, because you're adults, so you can get over that hurdle and continue to move forward, and make masterpieces together. Because again, you build a connection with the person that everybody doesn't always see eye to eye. But
mm-hmm,
if you guys have the connection and have that link, a triple braided cord is harder to break than just a braided cord.
Right.
mm-hmm,
So if we come together and make something happen, no matter how we feel, there's nothing that you can't touch if you have a good PR team. And that's
Got you.
just facts. I mean, I've saw it, I've seen it, I've seen it done so many times. Um, it could be extraordinary, and then a lot of
mm-hmm,
prayer, and it's not easy on both ends. A
Right.
PR is not an easy job. It's not an easy career to be in. It's a lot of researching, it's a lot of writing, it's a lot of turn downs, because that PR gets the no now.
Hmm.
You no longer get the no. The
mm-hmm,
PR gets no, 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 no. And sometimes that maybe, and sometimes that yes. And then think
Yeah.
about that when you have to eat. And that's how you feed your kids. You know,
Mm.
you got to do some hard work because you got in order to keep your client, you got to make them happy.
Right.
So,
Right.
yeah, there is definitely necessary. And I like what you said about that. It takes you to another level, and a lot of people don't know that. And please understand that a PR is not an assistant. We don't
Right.
get coffee. We don't fill up cups with ice. You know, we don't
See,
wash cars.
a lot of people think that
Yeah, they
they try to
just,
put
I
them in
don't
that
know if
position.
go get my coat. Just go get my coat, please, and my heels. Wait, what?
Right.
You need an assistant. That's not my
Yeah.
job. You know,
So,
funny.
oh my goodness, that's what they think. But they don't get paid to think. E.F. Hutton do.
Right.
Mm,
So, with that being said, Jay, man, you have a short film out on YouTube, and could you tell the audience the name of it and what should they expect from the short film? And after you say that, we just gonna wrap it up. And
well, I
but
have one more
but
question. When you get done, tell us about the short film. I got a question.
yeah,
Okay.
tell us about the short film.
So the short film, The Art of Peer Pressure, is you can find it on it's called the Art of Peer Pressure Ice Cream TV. So
Mm,
basically the I just wanted to showcase basically a different side, of college. A lot of times a lot of times when college is filmed is more so about the instructors or professors' personal life. With this one, I wanted to show like, okay, a lot of college students are going through things. It's just because we're in college doesn't mean that we're not going through anything. Doesn't mean that, oh yeah, because we did different from the other kids that didn't want to go to college that we're okay. No, it's a lot of college kids that go through a lot when it comes down to drugs, when it comes down to sex, when it comes down to, what I'm saying, other things they have to get their hands on. You know what I'm saying? At the same time, a lot of kids have a lot of classes. So we're young adults working like older adults when it comes down to we're working 8-10 hours a day on homework, on just writing, you know what I'm saying? Or just, what I'm saying, schoolwork. So a lot of times it's straining on a lot of kids. So a lot of
Hmm.
kids they do certain things where they tend alcohol, they start, using drugs or whatever pills so they can stay up. Adderall is a very thing in college when it comes down to just trying to keep, keep you focused and keep up as long as you can. But then popping a melatonin, you go to sleep. You can't go to sleep now because you don't have Adderall. So it's just like
Mm.
a lot of times a lot of times our story gets pushed to the side because we're college students. Oh, y'all should be, y'all all right. Y'all still just going to school. No, we are working as hard as you now. And we're not used to this because we was around other kids before that didn't work as hard as us. So it kind of met in the middle where it was like, okay, I ain't got to do as much because the teacher doesn't expect that much. Now I'm in college, it's a totally different ball game. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I want to show that side. So basically it's a segment and it's really like different segments, but it's a story altogether. It's about four kids who are putting a project together for class. Each kid is basically, well, it's five. Each kid basically, well, student, they have a personal issue that they're dealing with. So one of the students, he's a drug dealer or whatever, and he's only taking the class because he needs to pass. But he's slacking. So he's more so like, okay, when we have to meet, I'm not meeting up with them. I'm gonna go and hang out with my girl and do this and that and smoke and drink or whatever. The other student, he starts to fall into drugs bad. So he starts, he goes to another dealer or whatever that, because the main character that he only deals weed. But the other guy, he deals Adderalls and other drugs. So he started popping those pills a lot. And just to keep himself up so he can stay focused on his schoolwork. And then there's another student, because it really only focused on like three of them out of five. Like the other two are kind of just like You know, they're kind of there for like comic relief. If you gotta watch, you just have to watch the film. So
Okay.
the third student, she's dealing with, well, she might have a disease, or she might be pregnant because she's been having unprotected sex with her boyfriend, and her boyfriend doesn't want to use protection. But now she's peer pressured into having sex with him with no protection. So it's like, it's just showing like how different life can shift. You know, and okay, so showing more so a darker edge of what's going on with us.
I love that. I love this. I love the whole synopsis of it. Just how you broke it down like that, because I mean, if you've ever been to college, you also well know how this works, or high school, and the words that you just chose, the shifting of things so fast, because that's what happens. We wake up one
Right.
day and you're like, how the hell did I get here? What happened?
Right.
Now I got to tell my parents, or now I got to tell somebody else to help me get out of this jam.
Right.
And that's exactly what happens. And you said that this is on YouTube under Ice Cream
TV.
Ice Cream TV. And is Ice Cream TV similar to the network that you use, or is that your network, or YouTube
It was
subscription?
it was a network I was starting up for my film stuff.
Okay,
So
that's
it's
what I
gonna,
wanted to
because
ask you.
I actually do have the other video that I was talking about earlier, the little short documentary that I was able to do. I wanted to do a hour documentary. I'm getting to that this semester. But I showed the snippet of the documentary on there as well. So more of my film side, when it comes down to stuff that I want to just, showcase on YouTube, or even Instagram, it'll be on Ice Cream TV on YouTube for now.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
So my question is, are you open to, because you're in film, are you open to do or shoot someone else's idea, um, to have notches under your belt, or are you saving all of that goodness until you graduate?
I would love to.
Interesting. Perfect. That's
I
what
would
I
love
need
to.
to know.
That's all we need to hear, brother.
That's all we need to hear. That's all we need to
Yeah,
hear.
because I've been talking to your father about you, so it's big things happening in 2022. So just stay tuned for more important messages.
Got you.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Exquisite.
so it's good to PR firms. So listen, man, I want to thank you for coming on here, because me and your father had been playing this out, and of course, I know y'all had some family stuff y'all was dealing with, and I told him, after everything get resolved, I'll definitely have you on, man, and I'm just gonna be open to you and just give you a word of advice, man. The way you break down the film industry and the music industry, you're at Fort Valley State University, which is the HBCU, and so I think that you should probably get into having your own podcast at least, once a week. You know what I mean? I think
Got you.
that'll be good for your brand, for you discussing, for you to have musicians, filmmakers, models, and of course have, casting directors, wardrobe designers, all type of stuff that go with the film, and some community activists as well, and some people that like some college professors or something like that, man. Cause it's so much, that I feel like people can learn from you, man, because you so knee deep into the film and the music, man. Like you just bury yourself in it, because it's something that you're gonna do for the rest of your life. So and I
Yeah.
can appreciate somebody taking the form of art and being on the creative side to really inspire and engage with that target market audience. I can really appreciate you for doing that. So, but I just want to thank you for coming on, man. You was chopping up with the celebrity publicist, Miss Nicole Jordan, and we show our
Yeah. Thank
gratitude
you.
and appreciation
Thank
for
you
her
for having
as well.
me.
And
We
so,
definitely want you to come back, and we got something coming up for you, just because I'm impressed. So yeah, we'll definitely have you back here
Thank
soon.
you.
Probably do a 6 month checkup and see what happens.
Oh,
And
definitely,
we'll
definitely.
talk to you soon. Thank you so much.
Have a good night, sir.
You too. Hey, y'all have a
All
good night.
Bye
right,
bye.
thank you, sir.